नमस्कार सभी को एक बार पुनः वेलकम इन दिस सेकेंड डे ऑफ GST Mahakumbh, where today's topic is import, export, and refund. And our own speaker, our own expert, CA Ankit Garg, will deliberate on this topic. I hope everyone have received the recording and presentation of the first day. If not you have seen, then you can follow this WhatsApp channel, and यहाँ पर मैंने पोस्ट कर दी है, क्योंकि एक सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म है जहाँ पर आप पीछे की जितने भी आप डॉक्यूमेंट्स, रिकॉर्डिंग, न्यूज अगर आप रिट्रीव करना चाहें तो यू कैन एक्सेस ऑल द ओल्ड वन presentations, message, updates. Please tell that how to compute inverted turnover. Yes, it will be taken up, sir. So all queries will be taken up during the session. Ankit ji will see the chat box. सर अटैचमेंट को तो एक्सेस कर पाना शायद टफ होगा। विल
दीपा जी मैंने देख लिया है आपके अटैचमेंट भी, वी विल
देख
डिस्कस। डोंट
लिए,
वरी।
ठीक है, श्योर, योर क्वेरी विल बी डिस्कस। सो अंकित जी के साथ मुझे ये कंफर्ट रहता है कि अंकित जी अपने ही टीम मेंबर हैं सिंस बिगनिंग ऑफ दिस कासा 2011। ही इज एसोसिएटेड, he has started deliberation on GST since the beginning of the GST from 2016-17, and our own speaker expert. So I can say he will take each and every query with regard to today's topic, as well as any other topic, any other query other than the topic which has been discussed. So once again, welcome to each participant, and definitely it will be a good learning session. I request everyone to keep your mic mute so that you can enjoy the session. और कोई सजेशन हो, कोई और टॉपिक का इसके बाद जो हमने 4 सेशन प्लान करे हैं, दैट विल बी टेकन अप, क्योंकि कुछ और टॉपिक पर भी हमारा विचार चल रहा है। तो आप लोग जरूर सजेस्ट कीजिएगा मुझे व्हाट्सएप के माध्यम से कि कुछ और टॉपिक जो रहते हों उन पर भी हम इस सीरीज को आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं इन द नेक्स्ट वीक। सो विद दिस नोट, आई रिक्वेस्ट अंकित जी टू टेक अप, मूव फॉरवर्ड।
I welcome all viewers and I thanks Team CASA, and I am myself is from Team CASA. So I thank everyone who has joined the today delegation, and I will try to take each and every query. And as you see my deliberation, in that I will refer the circulars. So refund is that topic in the GST which needs to update every year by the GST department. बिकॉज सरकार को पैसा देना आसान है, सरकार से पैसा लेना इज वन ऑफ द टफेस्ट जॉब। फर्दर इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट हमारा इसके अंदर और कवर है रिफंड के साथ साथ। तो इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। आई थिंक सबको मेरी वॉइस क्लियर आ रही है और मेरी स्क्रीन शेयर सभी को दिखाई दे रही है।
अंकित जी सब क्लियर है, बट ये आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन बहुत छोटी आ रही है आपका।
मेरी स्क्रीन पे तो फुल आ रही है जी।
नहीं, ये प्रेजेंटेशन अभी फुल नहीं आ रही है, बिल्कुल छोटी
अब
सी आ रही
देखिए,
है। बाकी आपका फोल्डर आ रहा है सेमिनार डेटेड, ये फोल्डर आपका पूरा शो हो रहा है।
एक मिनट रुकिए, मैं जरा अभी दोबारा
हाँ,
शेयर करना चाहिए कुछ।
हाँ, दोबारा आप एक बार शेयर कीजिए।
अभी ठीक आ रहा है?
दोस्त, हाँ अंकित जी, अब इसे
अब
लार्ज कर लीजिएगा।
अब ठीक आ रहा
एंड
है?
अंकित जी, वन मोर रिक्वेस्ट, विजय कुमार जी, GST कमिश्नर फ्रॉम तमिलनाडु also joined. He
आई
requested to
वेलकम
use,
विजय जी।
हाँ,
विजय जी
he
इन दिस
requested to use
वेबिनार।
bilingual, हाँ,
नमस्कार जी अंकित जी।
नमस्कार नमस्कार।
so you can use bilingual for
So
both.
use bilingual language जी, please.
या डेफिनेटली डेफिनेटली विजय।
Okay,
Over
thank
to
you.
you. Over to you.
एंड वी विल ट्राई टू यूज बाइलिंगुअल लैंग्वेज इन आवर वेबिनार, सो आई विल ट्राई टू डू दैट आल्सो। So let's start today deliberation. Today deliberation we are starting on the import, export, and refund under the GST. As you are aware, from 2017, so taking a refund back is one of the hardest job with regard to the business concerns. And regarding to the import is very important with respect to the reverse charge. Why I say that reverse charge? Because in the years to come and in past years also, we have seen various notices for the RCM, which are on the basis of the import of services. And according to import of services, you have to pay the RCM by the businessman. So this need to be very clearly, we need to know what is import under the GST and what is export under the GST. With regard to export also, if we say that the transaction which is done from India to outside India, all is covered under the export. With regard to the goods, I say there is a custom frontier from where we move the goods and we consider it as an export. But with regard to the SIV, there is a need to do the analysis. So सर्विसेज के केस में हमें एनालिसिस एक्सपोर्ट है या इंपोर्ट है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट गुड्स के केस में तो कस्टम फ्रंटियर क्लोज हुआ. देयर इज अ कस्टम डिपार्टमेंट व्हिच do the transactions, and according you are very well known that this is export, this is import. But with regard to the services, there is a detailed analysis need to be done, and accordingly you need to see that whether your transaction is covered in the export as you are thinking or not, or whether the transaction is covered in the import as we are thinking or not. So we are starting our deliberation from the import of services. This is the law which I have written on my slide. So briefly we will discuss each and everything because we have to move according to the law only. As per section 10, IGST Act का section 210 है जो कहता है import of goods with grammatical variation and cognate expression means the bringing goods into India from place in India. What does it mean? Ki any goods which we bring from in India from the place outside India is covered under the import. And on that import, you have to pay the GST as well as you have to pay the custom duty as per the Custom Act. You have to go a custom formalities, and accordingly, that is the import of goods. So there is a various other definitions given. Section 7(2) supply of goods imported into the territory of India till they cross the custom frontier of India shall be treated to be a supply of goods in course of interstate trade or commerce. Why we are discussing import goods? As I have said, that this is very simple. मैंने कहा कि इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स बहुत सिंपल है, बट मैं एक चीज आप लोगों को कहना चाहूंगा, इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स बहुत सिंपल है, मगर जब हम बात करते हैं वेयर हाउस गुड्स की सेल की, जब हम बात करते हैं हाई सी सेल की, so there is a need to we have to discuss the import of goods कैसे हमारा कंप्लीट होता है. Though the import of goods say that when it's cross the custom frontier of India shall be treated as an import of goods in an Indian territory and would be considered as an interstate trade and commerce. यानी इसके ऊपर आईजीएसटी ही पे होना है. देयर इज नो डाउट कि इसके ऊपर सीजीएसटी आईजीएसटी पे होगा. तो वी आर वेरी मच अवेयर कि दैट इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट के ऊपर आईजीएसटी की ही बात हम लोग करेंगे, ना कि हम जीएसटी एचजीएसटी की बात करेंगे. नाउ मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, मैंने इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स आप लोगों को बताया कि इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स क्या है. गुड्स आउटसाइड इंडिया से हम इंडिया के अंदर लेके आए, दैट इज इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स. वेरी सिंपल. द कस्टम एक्ट वुड प्रिवेल. The custom act would start in picture and they would charge the custom duty. They charge the GST accordingly on the basis of the custom, basically valuation of the custom duty, and accordingly have to pay the GST, and ITC would be available of the GST paid on import of goods if it is not covered under section 17(5). And with regard to basically basic custom, you will not get the credit. There are various other schemes in which the basic custom duty is exempt, to refer the custom act for the same. Now moving forward with regard to import of services, very important topic. I request every viewer to understand this topic very thoroughly because it is very important. Import of services क्या कहती है? What is import of services? Import of services means what the supplier is located outside India. जो supplier है जो हमें supply कर रहा है services की, वो outside India होना चाहिए. The receipt of services located in India. जो services receive कर रहा है that should be located in India. And the place of supply of services in India. यानी क्या कि सप्लायर आउटसाइड इंडिया है हमारा, रिसेंट इंडिया में बैठे हैं, यानी हम लोग एंड प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई भी इंडिया फॉल होना चाहिए, जब भी वो इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज कहलाएगा। अब मैं एक चीज पूछना चाहूंगा, क्या इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज के केस में जीएसटी कस्टम कलेक्ट करेगा? नो। इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज के केस में वी हैव द आरसीएम एज पर द नोटिफिकेशन 10/2017 ऑफ आईजीए, एंड उसके ऊपर हमें आरसीएम पे करके आईटीसी लेना होगा। इट इज क्लियर टू एम? नाउ मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, एंड इट इज क्लियर फ्रॉम दिस कि इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स के केस के अंदर आपको 3 कंडीशन मिनिमम है जो आपकी पूरी होनी चाहिए। जो सप्लायर है और इंडिया होना चाहिए, जिसे इंडिया के अंदर होना चाहिए, और पिक सप्लाई इंडिया के अंदर होनी चाहिए। अब बहुत सारी चीजें हम देखेंगे जो सब सप्लाई हमें लॉजिकली तो लग रहा होगा कि हाँ जी, ये तो हमने करेंसी में पेमेंट करी है तो इसके ऊपर इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज कहलाएगी और अकॉर्डिंगली जीएसटी पे करना चाहिए। बट जब हम इस डेफिनेशन के अंदर, जो कि गिवन है सेक्शन सबसेक्शन 11 के अंदर ऑफ आईजीएसटी एक्ट, जब हम इस पैरामीटर के अंदर इन कंडीशन को डालेंगे तो वो फिर आउटसाइड द परव्यू हो जाएगी। तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये। जिसको देखिए आईटीसी मिल रहा है उसके लिए तो फिर भी मैं कहता हूँ कि इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ता, वो जीएसटी पे करे, ज्यादा पे कर देगा तो भी आईटीसी ले लेगा। बट जिसको आईटीसी नहीं मिल रहा है और उसका अगर हमने गलत आरसीएम पे करा दिया तो वो भी गलत हो जाएगा। तो इसलिए हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। या फिर जिसका पे कराना था उसका छूट गया तो भी एक कंप्लायंस की रिक्वायरमेंट हमारी बेसिकली नहीं फुलफिल हुई, तो वो भी हमें ध्यान में रखना है। जस्ट अ मिनट। नाउ मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, हमने डिस्कस करा सेक्शन 211 इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज क्या कहलाती है, व्हाट इज इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज। नाउ सेक्शन 7 सबसेक्शन 1 सबसेक्शन बी ऑफ सीजीएसटी सप्लाई से कि इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज फॉर अ कंसीडरेशन वेदर और नॉट इन कोर्स ऑफ फर्दरेंस ऑफ बिजनेस, व्हाट डज इट, इट इज अ लेवी सेक्शन। इट्स से कि इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज अगर आप कर रहे हैं तो जीएसटी आपको देना होगा, चाहे वो फर्दरेंस इन कोर्स और फर्दरेंस ऑफ बिजनेस के लिए है या नहीं है। ठीक है, इसे हम आगे डिस्कस करेंगे क्योंकि इसके अंतर्गत लॉ को चेंज कर दिया गया। गवर्नमेंट ने चेंज द लॉ एंड अकॉर्डिंगली फॉर द नॉन रिसिपिएंट, नॉन टैक्स रिसिपिएंट, द person who is providing the services, majorly OIDR services, they need to be registered by that. Now schedule 1 what say कि deemed supply without consideration, very very important. Import of services by a person from a related person or from any of his other establishment outside Indian course or furtherance of business. What does it means? कि अगर आपकी कोई भी एंटिटी बाहर लोकेटेड है या आपकी कोई भी एंटिटी बाहर है और उससे आप कोई सर्विसेज ले रहे हैं तो वो डीम्ड सप्लाई के अंदर होगी। What does it means? That you have to check if any services which you are taking from India, that should be as per the consideration and you have paid the RCM on the same. Now moving forward, section 7(4), what does it say? The supply of services imported into the territory of India shall be treated to be a interstate trade and commerce. ये हम सबको पता है कि that IGST we have to pay on the import of services. Moving forward, for the import of services, IGST shall be paid as per reverse charge by the recipient or OIDR service provider in case of non-taxable online recipient, as the case may be. We will discuss in detail, and we will find out any problem if you are facing with understanding of the import of services. Registration is mandatory for the person required to pay the tax under reverse charge. We know section 24 is there. Registration mandatory हो जाएगा. Any businessman who is doing the business and has taken the import of services. For example, any proprietor is having the turnover less than 20 lakh. He take the subscription of LinkedIn and he has paid in, for example, in a foreign currency. It is not mandatory, as we have agreed that the import of services is required that it should be paid in a foreign currency. So what does it mean? That if the import of services, यानी if LinkedIn में अगर किसी व्यापारी ने जिसकी टर्नओवर 15 लाख की है और अनरजिस्टर्ड है, उसने import of services की सर्विसेज ले ली, then in that case he need to be registered mandatorily under the GST. And after that, what he has to do? He has to pay the RCM. So consider the complication. In previous years, if you are engaged in the assessment, you would be aware that a Facebook ILN notices has been received by the various businessmen. What does it say? It says that you have received the SIS from the Facebook ILN and you have not paid the RCM. Please prove that you have paid the RCM. Otherwise, pay the RCM along with the penalty and interest. So why these notices came? Because these services are covered under the import of services. And for that, you need to pay the GST under the reverse charge. There is no change in the law. The law is same from 2017. Only OIDR has been discussed in the years. So as I am also aware of these facts, so we have paid many demands due to this import of services. मैंने जैसे कि आपको बताया, if there is import of services, then registration is mandatory, and reverse charge you have to check that reverse charge has been paid or not. There is a notification number 10/2017 has been amended from the inception of the GST. You have to look for what it says. Any services supplied by any person who is located where? Non-taxable territory, means or India, to any person other than non-taxable online recipient. Non-taxable online recipient अगर नहीं है व्यक्ति तो उसको GST RCM पे पे करना है. You have to pay the GST on the RCM. It is mandatory. Moving forward, what is the location of recipient of the services? Why we require this, the location of the recipient of the service? Because this needs to be decided that where is the place of supply. And we are aware in GST, the place of supply is very important because GST is the nation-based taxation. So the state which place of supply you will put, that state will get revenue from the government. The location of the recipient of the services is defined under the Act. What is written? Whereas the supply is received at a place of business for which the registration has been obtained, the place of business very simple. जिस place का आपने registration ले रखा है, तो वो place location of the recipient of the service. If the registration has been not be taken, where a supply is received at a place other than a place of business, for registration has been obtained, a fixed establishment is where the location of fixed establishment. You have taken the registration, but I will give the example. You have obtained the architect services from America to the place you are registered in Gurgaon, but you have taken for a building you are going to build in Delhi. And in that building, you have the fixed establishment also. So in that case, that place should be considered as the location of the recipient of the service. So the application, you have to take the registration. We will see over the slide, we will move on. So what does it mean? That it is very important to see each and every aspect of this discussion we are going on. Now, what it says that, okay, the place of business is not registered, you have not fixed establishment, then where a supply is received at more than one establishment, whether the place of business or a fixed establishment, then the location of the establishment more directly concerned with the recipient of the supply. Suppose we have received one services, and that is a mixed services. One is considering to be for the fixed establishment also, considering to be for the registered place also. Then what it say? It say the location of the recipient of the services would be considered to be the location which is more directly concerned with supply. Now moving forward, and in absence of such places, the location of the usual place of the residence of the recipient. अगर ऊपर में से तीनों में से कोई भी हमारे पास नहीं है, तो generally जो हमारा residence है, such place would be considered as a location of recipient of service. Location of the supplier of service means the location of the supplier of service means where a supply is made, a place of business for which the registration has been obtained, the location of such place, say Second clause is also same, third is also same, and fourth is also same. So location of the supplier and location of the recipient both are same almost. Accordingly, moving towards the fixed establishment, as we have seen, what is fixed establishment? So fixed establishment at the place other than a registered place of the business, which is characterized by sufficient degree of permanence and a suitable structure in terms of human and technical resource to supply services or to receive use services for its own need. What does it mean? For fixed establishment, there is a mandatory requirement that is sufficient degree of the permanence and suitable structure in terms of human and technical resources to supply the services and to receive and use services for its own need. So, if you are not registered, but your place is covered under an fixed establishment, so there is a requirement that you should take the GST registration. And accordingly, if it is you are taking the import of services, you look for that services accordingly. Now moving forward, place of business. Place of business, जैसा हमने discuss किया था, place where the business is ordinarily carried on, warehouse, godown, any other place where a taxable person stores his goods, supply or receive goods or services or both. Place where a taxable person maintains his books of account is also place of business. Place where a taxable person is engaged in a business through an agent. So these are the definitions. And accordingly, we are moving forward. Second, as per the proviso to section 5 of IGST, shall be levied and collected. What does it mean? That what is the valuation with regard to the import of goods for the GST prospect? So it says, as per the provision of Custom Tariff Act, what the value is determined for the custom duty should be the same value should be determined for the GST to charge the GST on the goods. For the import of goods, IGST shall be charged on same value on which custom duty being levied, and the payment shall be made with the payment of custom duty. Now we have discussed the import of goods and import of services. We have discussed what is the location. We have discussed key import of services ke liye, what is mandatory requirement, that the supplier of the services is located outside India. Recipient of the services is located in India, and the place of supply should be always in India for the import of services. In this definition, you will find nowhere there is a mention, they have mentioned that it should be in a foreign currency only. So what does it mean? Any mode of payment you have used for the import of service is irrelevant if it is covered under the definition of the import of services. Now moving forward with regard to export of services. Now in this import of services, one condition that the place of supply should be in India would be left blank. Why I should have left it blank? Because for import and export, same place of supply we have to follow, and accordingly we will discuss place of supply rules, place of supply section 13 in detail for import and export both. हम दोनों के लिए उस सेक्शन को डिस्कस करेंगे, इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट के लिए कि प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई क्या माना जाएगा. क्लियर टू एवरीवन? आई थिंक मैं फास्ट तो नहीं जा रहा हूं. सुमित जी सही चल रहा है, कहीं कोई तेजी तो नहीं है? और आई थिंक अभी तक जो मैंने इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज और इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स समझाया सभी को क्लियर है, कोई डाउट इसमें नहीं है. इसके रिगार्डिंग किसी की कोई क्वेरी है? आई वेलकम दोस क्वेरीज. सो आई विल टेक अ होल्ड ऑफ अ सेकंड्स फॉर द सेम. I hope there is no query, so I will move forward. Now, moving forward, export of goods. What does export of goods mean? Section 2, subsection 5 of IGST Act define what is export of goods. Export of goods means taking the goods outside India to a place, taking the goods out of India to a place outside India. हम इंडिया से गुड्स को बाहर लेकर जाते हैं, उसको गुड्स को ले जाने को एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स बोलते हैं. एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स हम किस लिए अलग से पढ़ रहे हैं? Because export of goods के केस में law gives us various benefits because it is a zero rated. Why it is a zero rated? Zero rated because government does not want any tax to be charged on the export of goods. Why does so? Because government wants that your goods would be competitive in the world. Why? Because there is a earning in a foreign currency, and that's why to earn the foreign reserve and to make goods competitive, the government gives various incentive to you for the export of goods. In that line, moving forward, and you should know there is a extra benefits also other than the GST the government would give. Like for example, road tax you will get on the export of goods according to your category, which is more around 4 to 5%, 6%. You will get that benefit add on to the GST. GST government would not charge. Even the GST, which is charged on all your procurements, the government is allowed the refund of that GST on a various prospect, which we will discuss in the topic of the refund. So it is clear for us what is export of goods. Export of goods बड़ा simple है. Taking the goods outside India from the place in India से हम goods को बाहर लेके जा रहे हैं वो export of goods कहलाएगा. और इसके अंदर कस्टम इंटीरियर आएगा चाहे आप ट्रक से ले जा रहे हैं. हमारे ट्रक वाले बॉर्डर्स क्या है? पाकिस्तान पे तो अभी एक्सपोर्ट्स बंद है एज पर माय नॉलेज with regard to from the transportation of goods with regard to trucks and road transport. There is a Nepal, there is a Bhutan. So if for them, those countries also, there is a mandatory requirement that the custom is there. You have to follow the custom act and you have to be the then for the custom documentation. Then only the export of goods would be considered as an export of goods. जैसे कि डेफिनेशन में लिखा है कि एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स टेकिंग गुड्स आउटसाइड इंडिया टू प्लेस टेकिंग द गुड्स आउट ऑफ इंडिया टू प्लेस आउटसाइड इंडिया. मैंने कहा कि देन आई हैव टू गो टू द दुबई. So for taking the goods outside India, I have put those goods in my bag and take it out. And then after coming back, I claim that this is the export of goods. Please allow me the incentive. So that is not allowed. You have to follow a proper system as given in a custom act, and accordingly, then only there is a would be considered as an export of goods. So we have very clear that for the import of goods and the for the export of goods, there is a custom act, there is a custom things you have to follow. Custom act you have to follow, custom procedure you have to follow for the export of goods also, for the import of goods also. Now moving forward, with regard to export of services. Export of services किसको कहेंगे हम? What would be the export of services? What is export services means is very important. Why it is very important? One of my client came to me, say, sir, that I am providing a services to a foreign national. He is building his bungalow in Gurgaon. And I am raising the bill to him outside India on his US address. And he is paying me in a foreign currency. Sir, why it is not an export of services? Why it is export of services or not? My question is whether it is export of services. We will discuss over the period of our deliberation and see. We are receiving the money in foreign currency. He is a foreign national who is taking my services. And I am receiving the money also in foreign currency. Then why it is not export? We will see. We will put that all conditions as given. 5 condition is mandatory to be followed to say that the services which we have given is an export of services. What does it say? Section 2, subsection 6 of IGST Act say export of services where the supplier is located in India. यानी मेरा आर्किटेक्ट है वो इंडिया के अंदर लोकेटेड है. रिसिपिएंट इज लोकेटेड आउटसाइड इंडिया. जो सर्विस रिसीवर है he is also located in USA. He is also outside India. The place of supply is outside India. Third point, very important. The place of supply is outside India. So now what does it mean? The place of supply is very important to decide whether the services is export or not. Supplier is located in India. हमने पढ़ लिया कि लोकेशन कैसे चेक करेंगे, रिसिपिएंट की लोकेशन क्या मानेंगे, सप्लायर की लोकेशन क्या मानेंगे. प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई अभी पढ़ना बाकी है. We will read it. But all three conditions plus one more add on to import से अलावा एक condition इसमें क्या ऐड करी गई? That the payment has been received in convertible foreign exchange or in an Indian rupee only where there is permitted by the RBI. For example, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar से RBI is permitted for the Indian currency, so you are allowed to take it in an Indian currency and that would be considered as an export. Import में हमने 3 कंडीशन पढ़ी थी, यहां पर हम 5 कंडीशन पढ़ रहे हैं. 3 तो हमने सेम ही है, बट वाइसी वर्सा है. 4th condition is mandatory that you should bring a foreign currency, foreign convertible, foreign exchange to claim your goods to be an export. Now, 5th condition, what is the 5th condition? The supplier and recipient are not merely establishment of a distinct person. इसका मतलब क्या है? मेरी एक ब्रांच दुबई में लोकेटेड है. सब्सिडरी कंपनी, होल्डिंग कंपनी की बात नहीं कर रहा मैं. मेरी ब्रांच लोकेटेड है दुबई के अंदर, तो और मैं उसको सर्विसेज दे रहा हूं. आई एम प्रोवाइडिंग द सर्विसेज टू माय ब्रांच. They are in foreign currency. My branch is located outside India. I am a supplier located in India. And suppose for that services also, the place of supply is also outside India. Whether that would be considered an export? No. As per this definition, it would not be considered as an export because 5th condition is not allowing you that an export. It is saying the supplier and recipient not merely establishment of a distinct person. Clear to you? Moving forward, a person needs to comply with all the above condition to made an export. Distinct person in case of export, यानी हमने क्या पढ़ा? All 5 condition need to fulfill to claim your services to be an export of services. और हमें पता है एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विसेज की हम बात क्यों कर रहे हैं? जीएसटी की पूरी प्रिक्योरमेंट की कॉस्ट हमारी कॉस्ट नहीं होगी. We will get the refund. We will get the other benefits also from the government. So the export of services very important. Now moving forward, distinct person हमने discuss कर ही लिया. Custom frontier we have discussed. Export of goods we have discussed. Basically taking a goods out of the custom frontier limit would be considered as export of goods. Taking the goods in India from the customer frontier would be considered import of goods. Second thing, supply of goods or services of both when the supplier is located in India and the place of supply is outside India. What does 7.5 say? That it is an interstate services. It means that on export of services and export of goods, the what need to be charged is the IGST. It is very much clear to everyone. Now, we are discussing export of services, export of goods, and at that time also, I have told you that export of services and export of goods is covered under an zero-rated supply. Zero-rated word, what does zero-rated means? As we are aware, there is a nil-rated, one word in the GST Act. There is the exempted, one word in the GST Act. So we know nil-rated, exempted, and third word is zero-rated. So what is zero-rated? Zero-rated means that zero-rated means what? When you are supplying the goods, which is export, or you are providing services, which is export as per the definition given under the section. That is zero-rated. What does it mean? Though it is taxable as per the tariff, GST tariff, GST notification, but you have to follow the procedure, and accordingly, there is no need to charge the GST. So it is considered as a zero rated supply. So what are the two options to claim the zero rated supply? There is a two option the exporter can make with the following two options that apply for the LUT made the export without the payment of the IGST. It is very important to note because we are in right now in June month. So doing the export, claiming the export and not charging the GST in case of services, please ensure that you have the LUT at place. And LUT is there for 25-26, which is valid, and accordingly, then only you will be able not to charge the GST. You will may allow to do the export of services without the payment of the IGST. पहले बहुत गलतियां हुई हैं स्टार्टिंग में जीएसटी एक्ट के टाइम पे and there is a various demand need to be paid though the code is lenient because it has the revenue neutral impact, but still you must ensure that there is a LUT at the place. What does LUT, what we are discussing? We are discussing very simple that to do the export we have two methods. One is don't pay the GST. Pay means don't pay the GST in GSTR1. Do the GST without the payment of GST under the LUT and file the return. Yani export 100 rupees ki GST 00. ITC you will claim and accordingly will file the GST return. Why does this LUT has been given? I say, sir, I have started the business. I don't have the ITC. I am doing the export. Previously, LUT is not allowed to anyone. But after the years to come, when GST has been implemented, GST has been enacted, and after that time, the LUT is allowed to everyone. Now, after applying the LUT, government given the option that don't charge the GST, sir. There is no need if you are doing the export to charge the GST. And accordingly, you will do the turnover without charging the GST in case you have applied the LUT and you are doing the export transaction. Now, with regard to my procurement, whatever ITC has been accumulated, I can take the refund of that ITC from the government of India. It is the simple process. But where there is a ITC is sufficient to meet the GST amount of outward liability on export, then government has given you the option to do the export with the payment of the taxes also. यानी कि हम दो एग्जांपल लेते हैं मेरे बिजनेसमैन के पास for to my businessman there is an ITC available of 100 rupees and I am doing the export of 1000 rupees on which the ITC on which the output rate is 18%. So I need to pay 180 rupees IGST government at the time of filing 3B. Out of that 100 is allowed to me. So in that case, it is suggested to apply for the LUT and make the zero rated supply without the payment of the GST, because in that case, then only you will be able to claim the 100 rupees as a refund from the government, which is accumulated in your ITC, and there is no need to pay 80 out of your pocket. What does it mean? 180 रुपए आउटवर्ड पे करना था, 100 रुपीज ITC था, तो नेट में 80 रुपए मुझे सरकार को देना था. बट मेरे पास LUT था, तो मैंने LUT अप्लाई करते हुए एक्सपोर्ट करा और अकॉर्डिंगली मैंने 80 रुपए सरकार को नहीं दिया. जो 100 रुपए मेरा ITC एक्यूमुलेट हुआ, उसके लिए मैं रिफंड लेने सरकार के पास चला जाऊं. क्लियर टू ऑल? नाउ एक्सपोर्ट विद द पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्सेस. Very good mechanism. We will discuss in the hours in my slide, which say that for the LUT, there is a restrictions with regard to there is a calculation required to claim the GST refund. So there is another option that you can do the export with the payment of the taxes also. So export with the payment of taxes, what does it mean? That in 180 rupees, you will pay to the government by utilizing 100 rupees IGST, ITC which is available to you, and pay 80 to the government. And then in that case, 180 rupees would be refunded by the government through the mechanism under the Act, as you have done the export with the payment of the taxes. And in that, there is no need that you should have the LUT also. So I think this is clear, or anybody should have the doubt. हमने दो मैकेनिज्म डिस्कस किए. We have discussed two mechanisms. One is that we should do the export without the payment of IGST, and second, we should do the export with the payment of IGST. Now I give one question to my audience, and I want to check that all are able to understand. So I am request everybody to give the answer in chat box with yes or no as per my question. Now, one example I am giving. In my case, I am doing the export of services, or I say I am doing the export of goods, and my accumulated ITC available to me is 100 rupees. And in my example, my export is of 1000 rupees. There is a 18% GST. I have to pay 180 output liability. What is the best option I should opt for? If I have the financial crisis, I don't have money to pay 80 rupees. Whether I should go for LUT or whether I should go for export with the payment of IGST. I want the answer to be in yes or no. Go for LUT. LUT plus refund ITC. LUT. Mitlesh ji, Supendra ji, LUT. Definitely, bilkul. LUT, I agree. But in one case, now I am giving some twist. We will discuss in a later on also. I am giving one twist. That ITC has the ITC for the machinery I have purchased. 100 rupees ITC has 50 rupees ITC of the machinery I have purchased. In that case, because in LUT, there is no refund is allowed of the capital goods, so it is better that I should go for the export with the payment of IGST. So what, through this example, what I am saying that it is not a blind position. We have to check in each and every case what option is beneficial to us. And government is allowed both options to a taxpayer to opt for each and every transaction. What does it mean? For example, I want the answer is yes and no in the chat box. For example, in morning, I have done one export transaction, export of goods with a payment of IGST. Now for second transaction in the same day, I want to do that under an LUT, whether I can do it, and whether it is allowed to me, yes or not. Yes, everybody is saying yes. The answer is also yes. Arun sir, it is allowed. For every transaction, you have the option. Either you choose LUT or you can go for with the payment of IGST. It is your choice, sir. So moving forward to our deliberation. Now, zero-rated supply means any of the following supply of goods or services or both, namely export of goods or services or both, or supply of goods or services or both for authorized operation to an SEZ developers or to an SEZ zonal unit. I have written here for authorized operation. For authorized operation is this has been added. This has been amended by the government. What does it mean? That अभी तक हमने पढ़ा services definition may include basically in zero-rated supply, not export of services, that the supply to the SEZ or special economic zone unit is also covered under zero-rated supply. Because we know that SEZ zone is for the with various conditions, and government is allowing the GST benefit to these SEZ. So if we are supplying goods or services or both, then in that case, and that is for the authorized operation, then those supplies are also considered as being as a zero rated, and the same refund and same method would be allowed for the GST as we have discussed in for the normal export. Section 16(1) of the IGST Act has been amended to provide that the supply of goods or services to SEZ developer or unit would be considered as a zero-rated supply only where the same is used for authorized operation of the SEZ. And this has been added with effect from 31st July 2023. What does it mean? Sir, one more thing, as an auditor, as a chartered accountant, as a professional, as a department, I'm saying to you to check. If we are doing the turnover, we are supplying the good to the SEZ, there's a mandatory requirement that we should have the authorization on each and every transaction that goods has been used for the SEZ only to claim zero rated supply. अभी क्या हो रहा है? There is no checkpoint of the government. Though SEZ के अंदर there is a checkpoint, there is a basically barriers and there is a checking of the department that the goods would be in only as and when it would be checked by the department. But as a supplier, that is okay. But as a supplier, it is our duty also to ensure that authorized operation stamp and document would be available to our clients who is doing the supply to the SEZ to claim it as a zero rated. So it is very important to note it down. Linking of foreign exchange remittance in case of export of goods with refund and accordingly in case of non-realization of sale proceed within 9 months. 9 months what I say, because it is allowed as per the RBI Act. From the date of export, the registered person shall be liable to deposit the refund so received along with the interest at the rate 18% within 30 days after the expiry of the 9 months, that is after 180 days. What does it mean? हमने export of goods करा. We have sent the goods to Dubai. We have sent the goods to America and all are on a credit. And we have not received the money within 180 days in foreign exchange. In that case, if we have claimed the refund of the GST, then we have to pay back to the government with a 18% interest on that because you have not recovered the money and you have not bring the foreign exchange. So in services ke case mein, it is very clear that that would be not considered an export. But in goods case, you have to pay the refund back to the government. Two more things. There is a confusion going on previously that I am a trader sitting in India. I do one transaction. What is that transaction? I want the answer in the chat box also. What is that transaction? I have buy the goods from China and exported those goods from China to America. I have buy some goods for $100 and send it to the China for $200. And I book the sale of $200 in my P&L in India and $100 as in purchase in my P&L in India. What GST I need to pay on the same? No. Yes, no. I agree with the answer and I really appreciate Jitendra ji, Nitin ji, Satyendra ji and other also who is giving the answer in a chat box because there is a discussion we are doing on a e-platform. So it's nice that we should doing one-to-one discussions. Because it is a non-GST transaction, it is outside taxable territory. It is outside the territory of India. Now there is one thing more. We have imported the goods in India and that has been kept in a warehouse. There is a custom warehouse. Now I have transferred those goods with a documentation formality of the custom to any other buyer. So whether in that case that goods would be considered as an import of goods to me or not? No, that is not considered as an import of goods to me. And even that supply, because I have taken the margin also. Sir, Nimesh Kumar ji, basically sir, buyer India में है या outside India है sir? अभी हम discussion कर रहे हैं as a supplier. I import the goods, keep it in warehouse, and now I have sold those goods also. In that case, in that transaction, that would be considered as an outside the preview of the GST. There is no need that where the wire is located as per my prospectus. So in that case, also it would not be covered under the GST. So while it is given, we have see the law, we will see the law. Schedule 3 is there. Previously, this has been added after the 2017 GST Act. This has been added afterward to clarify to the government, to clarify to the courts, to clarify to the department. Schedule 3, what says the supply of goods from a place in the non-taxable territory to another place in the non-taxable territory without such goods entering into India. This is Schedule 3. What is Schedule 3? Schedule 3 say the things given in the Schedule 3 is not covered under the GST Act. There is the 8th clause. What does it say? Supply of warehouse goods to any person before the clearance for home consumption. As we have discussed in the example also. That also would not be considered as an supply under the GST Act. Supply of goods by the consignee to any other person by the endorsement of the document of the title of the goods after the goods has been dispatched from the port of origin located outside India, but before the clearance for the home consumption. As we have discussed, this is for the high sea sales also. So this is also outside the preview of the GST. Now my question is, again, one more question. Whether in my P&L there is 180 rupees, $200 sale, $100 purchase, all would be considered as a non-GST supply because it is out of the preview of the GST. And I am receiving the ITC also. I am the registered person also. Whether the refund, whether that ITC is allowed to me. I want the answer in the chat box. No. We will discuss in the deliberation is going on that in that case it would not be considered eligible for the refund and you will not be eligible to claim that ITC. And in as per section 17 and as per rule 42-43 also you need to see that need to be reversed also. Moving forward, this is the export of goods we have discussed. This is nowhere specified. This is my discussion and this is the allowed practical industry practice also. Exporter having accumulated credit of capital goods. I say export without the payment of IGST. With the payment of IGST, no restrictions. If you go with an LUT, you are not allowed to for the refund. And accordingly, the capital goods ITC would be utilized over the year to come. If you have the accumulated ITC of capital goods, then as per the law, you are allowed, you will file export of goods with the payment of IGST. Even in the case of services also, you can go for export with the payment of IGST and you will get the refund without the restriction. So this is the issue, this is the plan. 100% exporter and have accumulated ITC, I suggest export with the payment of the IGST because आपका क्या है ITC भी पड़ा हुआ है और 100% exporter हो LUT के लिए जाओगे तो you have to go to the department, you have to file the RFD forms and accordingly or then only you are be able to get the refund. But if you are doing the export, you will automatically get through a custom and your shipping bill and EGM would be considered to be an application file और आपका refund automatically आ जाएगा बिना कुछ करे. So it is suggested that export with the payment of IGST आप करें और there is no need to go for the LUT. Third example, आपकी domestic sale और exports दोनों हैं. Plan according to the balance in the ACL. आपकी दोनों चीजें हैं तो आप accordingly plan करें कि आपका बैलेंस कितना पड़ा है ACL में. अगर आपका बैलेंस है और आपको जेब से पैसा नहीं देना, there is no need to pay from out of your pocket, then you can plan with the payment of IGST. If not, you can plan without the payment of IGST as per your availability of the balance of input credits in your electronic credit ledger. Now, one more twist is there in the law. Commercial sales of the coal. Why I have given the coal? Because coal there is a commercial cess has been levied. On other products also, there is a commercial cess has been levied. The refund is available. Commercial cess का refund हमें allow नहीं. Even the cess का credit भी हमें allow नहीं है. We are aware of that. Output से output pay करना है. No ITC. You cannot use that cess ITC for anything else other than to pay the cess. So in that case, but if you are a manufacturer and you have the cess accumulation in your business, then refund is available of the cess also. If you are doing export without the payment of the IGST, you can apply for the cess refund also. So please see in your case, if cess is there, then you can plan accordingly. And there's a merchant exporter. I give you one example. Exporter, जो exporter trader है, that has gone to the government, sir, what can we do? This is the procedure you have given to us. But if we take back, it is a time consuming process. And for 60 days, we require the capital. So government say, no, there is no need. You comply with the condition given under the notification specified 40/2017, you will be eligible to do the exports and you will be eligible to buy the goods with only the minimal rate of 0.1%. If I am the trader and exporter, yani I am the merchant exporter, X is a manufacturer, Y is a recipient outside India. I buy from X and sell to Y. So in that case, if I comply with the conditions, I can buy from Mr. X at 0.1% and accordingly do the supply of export of goods to Y with condition to be fulfilled given in 41/2007. Moving forward, refund of export. Just a minute. This slide I have to move. Now we are briefing our slide. We have studied the export also, the import also. And goods ke case mein we have understand the goods is very simple. The taking the goods outside India is export. Taking the goods in India is import. But with regard to services, I have discussed with you. We will discuss place of supply. This is the place of supply discussion. We will discuss that. But before that, what I am summarizing here, what is export, what is import? Export is location of supplier is located in India. Location of recipient outside India. Place of supply outside India. Currency of payment must, as specified by the RBI. Relationship between supplier and recipient not being a establishment of distinct person. GST applicability, these supplies to be treated in course of interstate traders and no as a geo-rated. No GST need to be levied, it is geo-rated. Import, what is import? Location of supplier outside India, recipient in India, place of supply in India, currency of payment is not material, relationship is not material, IGST would be applicable under the reverse charge mechanism. But relationship मैंने non-material लिखा है, but schedule 1 के case में, if you are taking any services from your distinct person, in that case there is a need that it would be covered and a deemed supplier. So these need to be checked it out accordingly. Now moving forward, generalized principle is what? Generalized principle say that the place of supply it would be considered as a location of the recipient as a place of supply in general phenomena. The location, what is the location of a recipient would be considered as a place of supply. For the cases, I say just forgot these separate cases has been given under section 13. I discuss some example. I am in India located. I have given some services to the Americans and I have received the currency in the foreign. My place of supply is outside India and I am not a mere establishment of distinct person. In that case, it would be considered as an export of services. But now, what does specific provision say? Goods required to be paid for the services related to the goods required to be made physically available and services require physical presence of the receiver. So in that case, the place of supply is where the services are actually given, where we are giving the actual services to an person. So we have to see that it is very mandatory requirement that in cases we have to check it out that if the place of supply for the services which are related to the goods which would be physically available, in that case we have to show that the place of supply would be where there is a services are located. The location where the services are actually performed. So it is clear. In case goods required to be made physically available and services requiring the presence of the receiver or person acting, for example, goods inspection services. I am importing the goods. I am the agent who do the physical verification of the goods, who check the qualities of the goods. Now, an American appoint me to do the inspection of the goods and check the quality of the goods. In that case, who is doing the export made the goods available to me to do the testing, and I am located in India. As a supplier, I am providing the services to the American situated outside India. I am taking the money in a foreign currency. He is not my related and not a distant person. In that case, whether it is covered in export of services or not, please give the answer in the chat box as per the clause 3 which we have discussed, whether it is covered under the export or not. Please give the answer in the chat box. Are you able to receive my voice? Are you able to hear? Hello, hello. Now my voice is clear.
Gigi, yes,
Anthony sir.
your voice is audible. Perfect.
Okay, so please let me know whether it is export of services or not. Again repeating, I am the person, I am the supplier. What my services is to inspect the goods. My client is located outside India. I have to inspect the goods which is lying in India. And I am receiving the money in a foreign currency. So whether this transaction would be covered in an export of services or not. No. Yes. Why? General provision say that the location of the recipient would be the place of supply. But there is a section 3. There is a clause 3 which say that is not covered under an export of services. Rajan sir, why it is covered in an export of services? You can unmute and discuss if any other view, sir. Why? Rajan sir, it is not covered under an export of services. It is basically because the place of supply would be considered as in India, as the goods are located in India, that is mandatory required to be physically available. So clear with this, moving forward to next clause, it is clear to us. Services supplied directly. I have bold the word directly in relation to movable property. Services of the expert and estate agent, accommodation by hotels or inn would be considered as a place where the property is located. I am again discussing the example. One of my client is building bungalow in Dubai. I am an architect in India. He would pay me in a foreign currency. He is located outside India. Now that property is located outside India. Now I want to ask whether this is an export of services or not. I want to answer in the chat box. Whether it is export of services or not, yes or no? Yes. Nitin ji, yes. Export of services, Rajan ji, yes. बिल्कुल ठीक सर, this is export of services because in this case there is a specific provision which say the place would be considered to be outside India as the property is located outside India and this would be considered as an export of services. Now we will take the example of import of services. I am building a museum in India. I have asked a supplier located in America to design my museum located in India. And I am located in India. My supplier of services is located outside India. And I am asking for the design for a museum in India, whether it is covered in the import of services or not. Yes or no? Yes, it is an import of services and RCM would be applied. Yes. Jitendra ji, no RCM, I am unable to understand, sir, because the place of supply in this case would be considered in India and we have to pay the RCM on the architect services which we have received from outside India and accordingly it would be considered as an import of services. Now, moving forward, the place of supply in case of admission, organization of cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, entertainment, celebration, conference, fair, exhibition, or similar event, or ad hoc services ancillary to such admission or organization shall be placed where the event is actually held. इसका एग्जांपल हम लेते हैं इंडिया के अंदर we are doing one event which would be held in Gurgaon, and now there is a very subscription coming for that event. Even outside India से मुझे subscription आ रही है. Then I am providing, I am located in India, event is in Gurgaon. Outside India से जो मुझे subscription आ रही है, whether I need to charge the GST on that or not, whether it would be covered under the export or not, I want to ask as per the clause 5 whether what is the consequences. No export, we have to pay the GST. Yes, Nitin ji, yes, GST will be charged. Mitlesh ji, bilkul correct. The GST will be charged. So, how important these provisions are? Are we able to understand? The place of supply provision is that much important for considering any transaction to be an export or import. We need to see the place of supply and we have to fit that whether in these clause these services are covered or not. If not, then it's general provision. If yes, then we have to see whether it is an import or not. Moving forward, section 8, very important. Intermediary service. What is intermediary service? Basically, it covered 2-3 services. The supply by banking company, financial institution, NBFC company, the location of supplier of the service. आपको पता है इसकी चेंज होने की बात चल रही है. There is a discussion going on to change this location of supplier to be as a location of recipient. I give you one example. Intermediary बड़ा simple समझा देता हूं. बीच में जो बैठा बंदा जो इंटरमीडियरी कर रहा है ट्रांजैक्शन को, यानी एजेंट, ब्रोकर, कमीशन एजेंट would be considered as an intermediary. Now, one American is doing the import and I am procuring the goods for him. मैं इंडिया में बैठा हूं, कमीशन एजेंट हूं, मैं अमेरिकन के लिए इंपोर्ट गुड्स को उसे इंपोर्ट करना है, यानी यहां से एक्सपोर्ट होने हैं, मैं उसके लिए गुड्स प्रोक्योर करा रहा हूं. And I am charging on the commission. I am charging a commission from that American. American is my, basically, I am the supplier, American is the recipient. I am located in India, American is located outside India, and what is my place of supply? I want to know. I am intermediary. I am saying, what is my place of supply? Answer in the chat box, please. My place of supply, where? Whether it is considered to be an export services or not. I will receive the money in a foreign currency also. Yes, India, place of supply, India. But it is not considered as an export of services. It is taxable in India. I have to pay the GST. So it is very important to see that these provisions need to be applied very clearly and very specifically. If it is covered in these clause, then general clause are not there. If it is not covered in these clause, then we have to go in a general clause. What general clause say? The location of the recipient would be the place of supply. Now, ninth clause is there up to 1st of October 2023. Transportation of goods other than by way of mail or courier. Now it has been removed. Why it has been removed? We are much aware that up to 1st October 2023, there is an exemption for the services provided by the vessels, by the aircrafts, for the export of goods, for the supplying of goods, but that has been withdrawn, and accordingly this clause has also been deleted. Now we would study in a general clause that the location of the recipient would be the services in case of these also. Moving forward, passenger transportation services where the passenger embark on the conveyance for a continuous journey, that would be considered as a place of supply. For example, person is sitting in India. I have to go to the Dubai, and I am taking the flight from India. So whether it is would be considered an export of services with regard to the transaction between an airline and me? No, because that place of supply would be considered. Airline has to pay the GST in India because I am embarking in India. Services provided on board or conveyance, services which are providing on a board or conveyance, yani on a ship, we have organized a party. And that ship would go from the Mumbai to Dubai. So what would be the taxability? First scheduled point of the departure of that conveyance for that journey would be considered as a place of supply. Now, very important, very important, I have discussed with you with regard to the import of services, the notices of the RCM, with regard to LinkedIn also, with regard to the Facebook also. So I am clearly saying that online information and data access or retrieval service is very important. We should study it. What does it say? The location of the recipient would be the place of supply. What does it mean? I in India have subscribed for a LinkedIn and paid. The LinkedIn is located outside India. I have received the services in India, and the place of supply is location of the recipient. What does it mean? Whether the RCM is applicable, yes or no? I want to answer in the chat box. Import RCM, yes. लव जी बोलते हैं import है, बिल्कुल ठीक है. नितिन जी भी import के लिए कहते हैं yes. Anthony sir, my voice is clear to others, or there's a problem with Anthony sir?
अंकित जी बीच बीच में वॉइस जा रही है थोड़ी ना, थोड़ा सा.
Okay sir, okay sir.
थोड़ी सी मिस हो रही है.
Basically, there is a Bluetooth.
हाँ, ब्लूटूथ की वजह से मिस हो रही है.
Yeah. So basically, what I am saying, sir, what I am saying is that online information LinkedIn की subscription है sir. Outside India LinkedIn provide located है. मैं इंडिया में located हूँ. I have taken the subscription, and I am registered in the GST also. In that case, there is a RCM applicable because place of supply would be a location of supplier of the location of the recipient of the service. Residuary means we have already discussed location of the recipient. If not available, then the location of the supplier would be the place of supply. आप ये कहते हैं नहीं जी हमें तो पता ही नहीं है कि हमारा रेसिपिएंट कौन है, तो सरकार कहती है जीएसटी दे दीजिए. हम मान रहे हैं कि आप ही सप्लाई, आप ही रिसिपिएंट है. So it is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
There is two other clauses also. Yeah, please. Now I will take the questions related to this place of supply, please. Any question, any doubt? Or I should move forward? No doubt. So I'm moving forward. We have discussed goods required to be made physically available. There is an exception that is given in my slide because time is short. I have to do the refund also. So I'm moving forward. These are the general provisions which we have discussed. Intermediary we have discussed. And to clarify intermediary, there is a various questions which are having the doubt. There is a circular given by the government 159/15/2021 dated 20th September 2021, which give you the proper clarification with regard to the intermediary services. Place of supply in case of online information and data access retrieval services. What is online information data retrieval services? There is a location. How the location would be decided? There is a system given that the location of the address presented by the recipient of the services through the internet in the taxable territory, credit card which the person is using, like for example Netflix we are using. So how the Netflix would decide that where the recipient is located? This is a system given for these services. So if our client is Netflix, we have to see whether he is taxable or not, because there is a taxability. What does taxability say? The location of the recipient of the services. If we are located in India and we are taking the Netflix services, then we have to pay the GST. Netflix have to pay the GST to the government. Online information and data retrieval services क्या है? Advertisement on the internet, which we have discussed, Facebook Ireland column, providing cloud services, provision of ebook, providing data and information retrieval otherwise to person in electronic form through a computer network, online supply of digital content, digital data storage, online gaming. So we have to clearly see that our services would be covered as per the clause given. If it is not covered under the clause given, then in that case, we have to go in a residual provision. We say the location of the recipient would be the place of supply of the services. Other things I have written in my slide, you can study, you can go for these things. Now coming to the refund. We have gone through the zero rated supply. Refund is allowed to whom? What is the refund? The GST which has been levied to me. I am the exporter. I am unable to use that GST for my domestic supply. I don't do the domestic supply. The government says no need to worry about, we will give you the refund. For the SEZ, the government said we will give you the refund. We have paid the excess amount in the GST. गलती से GST जमा हो गया कैश में. मेरे पास पड़ा हुआ है. I am unable to use that GST. Government say that you will take the refund. There is no problem at all. I have paid the IGST instead of CGST, SGST, and there is a problem. Department came to me and asked, sir, ये तो आपने गलत पे कर दिया. और उसने मेरी IGST की CGST, SGST की डिमांड निकाल दी और IGST बोला कि IGST को भूल जाओ, CGST, SGST पे करो. तो मैं गवर्नमेंट के पास गया, सर क्या करूं सर, ये तो मैंने आप ही को पे करा था. गवर्नमेंट से नो नीड टू वरी अबाउट, टेक द रिफंड. The refund is allowed that in that also. The refund is allowed to UNO, consulate, embassy of foreign currencies, and there is a mechanism given. There is a refund. There is a time limit given for the refund. That you will be eligible to claim the refund only within this time framework. If that time has been gone, then your refund is also gone. So you need to be cautious to see if the refund is eligible. You need to check whether the time limit is there or not. Type of refunds. Export of goods with the payment of IGST. हमने export किया goods का with the payment of IGST. We have discussed that you will get the refund automatically from the government, from the custom department. Export of services with the payment of IGST. As I have said, if you are having the accumulation of ITC regarding to the capital goods, then in that case, you will do the export of services with the payment of IGST. Why I am saying so? Because in export of services, in any manner, you have to go to the department to claim the refund. This is not an automatic mechanism. There is no automatic mechanism in export of services to claim the refund. You have to file the RFD form and you will get the refund. Export of goods or services without the payment of IGST. Export of goods or services without the payment of IGST. Under LUT, you have done the export and you can claim the refund under an LUT and you can file the application. You will get the refund money back from the government. Excess tax, interest, or any amount has been paid, you can take the refund of that also. Balance of cash and credit ledger after payment of taxes in accordance with the provision of section 49(6). In that case, you will also get the refund. There is one very good judgment which has been decided yesterday only. We will discuss in our deliberation in the last. Very welcome judgment for the businessman. In case, what does it say? In case of the closure of business, you are allowed to take the refund of the money which is lying in your electronic credit ledger. Let's see where it would be challenged in the Supreme Court and how the things would become in the way forward. Tax on inward supply to UNO and consulate and embassy would also be allowed to be refunded to these UNO, consulate and embassies. Supply of goods or services with the payment of IGST to SEZ unit or SEZ developers. Unutilized ITC in case of inverted duty structure. Madam की query भी है या एक query भी है हमारे पास. We will discuss that also with related to inverted duty structure. What is inverted duty structure? We will discuss that. If I am procuring the goods in a rate which is higher than when I am supplying those goods, for example, I am buying the raw material with a rate of a 28%, 18%, and I am supplying the goods which are of the rate of 12%. In that case, the government say the ITC which is accumulated to you, we will give it you as a refund under the inverted duty structure. Tax paid on advance in case of services, you have to pay the tax on advance, and after that the services has not been provided and you have issued the refund voucher, you can claim the refund of that which you have paid at the time of advance. Tax paid under the wrong head, I have already discussed section 77. You can pay in correct head and you can take the refund which you have paid in the wrong head. Balance amount of advance tax deposited by the casual taxpayer. When we are very much clear for the casual registration, there is a need to pay the GST at the time of registration itself to declare the turnover, and accordingly, if that not being able to utilize, you can take the refund of that. Refund by the supplier on deemed export, refund by the recipient on deemed export, IGST paid on supply of goods to the tourist living in outside India. On account of assessment, provisional assessment, appeal or any other order, you can claim the refund to the CST canteens. Any person tax interest paid or any other amount, excess amount in cash ledger, this I have made. This is clear to you. You can study that. Refund of export with the payment of IGST. ये हम डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. एक्सपोर्ट विद द पेमेंट ऑफ IGST अगर हम करते हैं तो इसका रिफंड ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाता है कस्टम से. There is no need to go to the department. There is no need to discuss with the department. You just do the export, declare that with the payment of IGST. It doesn't mean, I am giving you one example. Suppose I am exporting the goods of 100 rupees and I am charging the GST and I take 118 from my customer, whether the refund would be allowed to me. मैंने 118 रुपए ले लिए, 18 रुपए भी द पेमेंट ऑफ IGST मैंने एक्सक्लेयर कर दी. क्या मुझे 18 रुपए लेने के बाद रिफंड मिलेगा? नहीं. You cannot pass the incidence of the tax. It is mandatory requirement of the refund. If you have passed, then it's okay. You have collected from that person. Now taking my example, I am doing the export, and for doing the export, I need GST back. So I have the option to declare that in a shipping bill and accordingly file the GST return with a declaration of the payment of IGST, and accordingly that would be refunded to a custom department itself. There is a variance error which would come SB000. It means that your validation has been done. 001 पहले बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स थी, अब तो हम लोग सीख गए हैं. इनिशियल ईयर्स में कहीं शिपिंग बिल नंबर नहीं डाला हमने करेक्ट, कहीं हमने डेट ऑफ इनवॉइस करेक्ट नहीं डाली, तो उस केसेस के अंदर हमारे रिफंड अटक जाते थे. अगर किसी का रिफंड अटका हुआ है तो आप इस स्लाइड को मेरी देखें और उसे करेक्ट कराएं. What is the time limit? Time limit is there. 2 साल की जनरल टाइम लिमिट है. सबके टाइम लिमिट स्टार्टिंग from which is need to be very important. If we are doing the export by sea or air, then the bill of lading from the date of bill of lading say 2 years count होंगे. When the goods are exported by the land, when the goods passes the frontier, from that date the 2 years will be counted. Services exported out of India 2 years from when? From the date of invoice if the payment received in advance, or from the date of payment on credit. What does it mean? मुझे एडवांस आ गया, क्या मैं उस एडवांस के अगेंस्ट जीएसटी का अपने आईटीसी का रिफंड क्लेम कर सकता हूं सर्विसेज के केस में? एक्सपोर्ट के अगेंस्ट मुझे एडवांस आया, मैंने जीएसटी नहीं पे करा, मेरे पास आईटीसी एक्यूमुलेट है, क्या मैं रिफंड क्लेम कर सकता हूं? आई एम आस्किंग द आंसर, यस और नो. Yes. No, it is not allowed. Because advance would not be considered as a supply of services. And for the time limit also, it would be started when you will raise the invoice. So if the advance is there, you have provided the services, you have raised the invoice, then only you are allowed to claim the refund. In case I have given the services, but I have not received the payment, and my payment has been received after 6 months, then only I am eligible to claim the refund. Understand my point? I hope this is clear to everyone. Now, accumulated ITC in case of zero rated within 2 years from the end of the financial year in which such claim arise. Accumulated ITC in case of inverted due date within 2 years from the due date of furnishing of return under section 39 for the period in which such claim of the refund arises. Refund as per section 677, wrong hand पे pay कर दिया, from the date of the payment of GST in the correct head. These are the time limits. Moving forward. This is the complete process of the refund. आपको रिफंड फाइल करना है अगर आपने विद पेमेंट ऑफ आईजीएसटी नहीं करा एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स के केस में, उसके अलावा सब केस में आपको ये फॉलो करना है. अगर एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स आपने करा विद पेमेंट ऑफ आईजीएसटी तो कस्टम्स के थ्रू आपका रिफंड आएगा, तो ये प्रोसीजर आपके ऊपर एप्लीकेबल नहीं होता. बट जहां आपको आरएफडी फॉर्म के थ्रू, उसके अलावा आपको सारे रिफंड आरएफडी फॉर्म फाइल करने पड़ेंगे तभी मिलेंगे. और उसका प्रोसीजर क्या है? फाइल रिफंड एप्लीकेशन अंडर फॉर्म आरएफडी 01. After submitting and validating RFD 01 and ARN will be generated, that means the form is filed successfully. Now your jurisdictional proper officer has to issue the acknowledgement of application or issue the deficiency memo to the application within 15 days from the date of generation of ARN. अगर आपके ऑफिसर को लगता है कि नहीं आपने सारी चीजें सबमिट नहीं करी है, तो वो आपको डेफिशिएंसी मेमो इशू करेगा, और डेफिशिएंसी मेमो इशू करेगा, उसमें लिखेगा कि क्या कमियां है. अकॉर्डिंगली आपकी एप्लीकेशन बेसिकली नलिफाई हो जाएगी, आपको फिर दोबारा उस एप्लीकेशन को फाइल करना. यानी डेफिशिएंसी मेमो इशू हो गया, देन फाइल अगेन अ फ्रेश एप्लीकेशन आफ्टर करेक्टिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन व्हिच इज गिविंग इन अ डेफिशिएंसी. आपको एक्नॉलेजमेंट आ गई आरएफडीसी को 2 में, तो आपका रिफंड एक्सेप्ट हो गया. नाउ प्रॉपर ऑफिसर कैन इशू द प्रोविजनल ऑर्डर और प्रॉपर ऑफिसर कैन इशू द रिफंड ऑर्डर अंडर आरएफडी 05. If it is not satisfied with the refund, he has some more information to be required, then he can issue RFD 06, or he will ask RFD 08, he will issue for asking that why he should not reject your refund. If it is satisfied, he can issue, corporate officer can issue the refund sanction, order under RFD 06, sanction your whole refund, और after adjustment of the amount, और उसके बाद आपकी पेमेंट आ जाएगी. So this is the complete RFD procedure. I have given this in this form also. What are the time limits? Now, what are the methods? We are everybody know. एक्सपोर्ट के केस में जो गुड्स डोमेस्टिक में आप बेच रहे हैं उसका 1.5 टाइम्स ही उसका वैल्यू हो सकता है. यानी सपोज मैं डोमेस्टिक सेल भी कर रहा हूं और मैं एक्सपोर्ट भी कर रहा हूं. सपोज डोमेस्टिक में मैं उसको 100 रुपए का बेचता हूं, तो एक्सपोर्ट के केस में आपको रिफंड देने के लिए सरकार उसको सिर्फ 150 रुपए का मानेगी, चाहे आपने उसको 200 में बेचा या 300 में बेचा. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नोट इन द फॉर्मूला गिवन फॉर द एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ द सर्विसेज. Why I am moving fast? Because I will take the query, and with regard to your query, I will discuss each and every query which are there with related to the refunds and export and import. पहले 4A 4B दो क्लॉजेस एक्स्ट्रा थे जो अलग एप्लीकेशन की बातें करते थे. वो कहते थे कि उसमें अलग मैकेनिज्म है रूल 89 के अकॉर्डिंग. वो गवर्नमेंट ने डिलीट कर दिए. अब सिंपल कर दिया है बहुत. एक्सपोर्ट विद प्रोपोर्शनेट आपको रिफंड मिल जाए. ये सर्कुलर्स है जो मैंने अपनी स्लाइड में डाले हैं आप लोगों के लिए. ये सारे सर्कुलर्स आप कभी भी रिफंड में फंसते हो तो आप इन सर्कुलर्स को गो थ्रू करेंगे और आपके रिफंड की प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व. नाउ एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट जजमेंट आज कल ही बेसिकली कोर्ट ने दी है. सिक्किम हाई कोर्ट ने अलाउ कराया रिफंड ऑफ अनयूटिलाइज्ड आईटीसी और बिजनेस क्लोजर. The case of CA India Private Limited versus Government of India. तो कोर्ट ने कहा क्लोजर ऑफ बिजनेस के केस में जो एक्टिविटी बनी थी उसका रिफंड. एक चीज ध्यान रखिए, दैट इज इंटरेस्ट ऑन रिफंड. हम रिफंड की एप्लीकेशन फाइल करते हैं, हम कहते हैं ठीक है जी रिफंड आया तो सही, किसका क्या करना. But there is a need to check in case of delay of the refund. You can claim the refund along with interest. So you can check the interest provision. There is some judgment also that the High Court has been very strict. He said if the deficiency memo has been issued irrelevantly and after that the refund has been accepted, the refund has been issued, then delayed.
अंकित जी आपकी वॉइस नहीं आ रही है. अभी भी नहीं आ रही है सर. आई थिंक बैटरी लो हो गई है ब्लूटूथ की ना.
Just a minute, just a minute. Now my voice is clear.
हाँ हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ जी. काफी देर
Yeah,
से
please.
2-3 मिनट का गड़बड़ हो गया.
कोई नहीं. प्लीज आप अनम्यूट पे डिस्कस करें कि जो भी आपका इशू है. मैंने अलाउ कर दिया. यू कैन शेयर द स्क्रीन आल्सो. वी कैन डिस्कस वन टू वन.
Mr. Ankit, Mr.
Yes, please.
Mr. Ankit, I have sent you a PDF where there is the detail of the purchase and sales on various rates. I want to know its inverted duty turnover.
Okay. Just a minute.
I am
I
again
have seen
attaching
that, sir. Sir, I want to know one question first. Whether we are the manufacturer or traders?
We are the manufacturer.
Okay. Now, sir, with regard to your this, I have seen your PDF also. Your basically 97 lakh is the input, and your output is 87 lakh. So basically, what is there in the inverted duty formula? The inverted duty formula is very specific.
Yes.
So in inverted duty, you are eligible. You are eligible to claim the inverted duty because you have the all three rates lying in your PDF sheet, and all same rates are there in the input also. So it is very hard to note which input. Yani, for example, 18% input is there, whether it is used for 12% or 5%.
Yes, yes,
You
definitely.
can put that complete consolidated. Sir, why the problem is, Deepaji, that what turnover would be considered an inverted duty? That is my question.
Actually, the main
Because
problem.
in your example, sir, there is a 18% ITC also, there is a 12% ITC also, there is a 5% ITC also.
Yes.
And now you are selling output on all three situations. So I would say you would consider 12% or 5% as an inverted duty.
I am telling you what amount should I consider for turnover, because I also have the 12% purchase and 5% purchase.
सर आपको इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी के केस में नाउ जब आप ऑफिसर को देंगे ना, उसके लिए सबसे हार्ड तो यही है कि आपकी इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी क्या माने वो टर्नओवर,
डेफिनेटली
बिकॉज आपका 5% का इनपुट भी है और आपका 5% का आउटपुट भी है। तो हम 5% को सर जनरल मान लेते हैं, आपको कोई प्रोडक्ट मिक्स उसको देना पड़ेगा जिसमें आप ये अश्योर करें कि 18% जो इनपुट है, 12% जो इनपुट है आपका, वो यूज हो रहा है आपका 5% वाले आउटपुट में भी।
ओके।
If you have so, then in that case you will consider your turnover 5% would be as an inverted duty turnover. Accordingly, you will put in the formula. But I am with very less hope कि that inverted duty में आपका refund बनेगा सर।
नहीं
So the
sir,
formula,
I am pretty sure that my refund will be available, and I can file the refund. But the main problem with me is this: I can't able to identify what should I consider the inverted duty turnover, because I will have to apply the rate of that for computing.
understand, sir. Sir, if you have the proof that 18% ITC has been used for the 12% output also, and
Yes.
for the 5% also, and you have the proof that 12% ITC and 18% ITC has been used for the 5% also, in that case 12% and 5% would be considered as an inverted duty turnover, sir.
Is there any specific practice in market in such type of the cases?
Sir, medical industry mein it is very normal, sir.
Can you identify by this sheet the exact amount of the inverted duty turnover?
Deepa sir, I have shared my number in my PPT itself in a front. We can discuss it one-to-one, and I will solve your problem. For the audience, what I am saying, sir, in sir example there is a three rate of input: 18%, 12%, 5%. Sir, client is a manufacturer, and he is providing the output services with the three rates also: 18, 12, and 5. Now the question is, what is the inverted duty turnover?
Yes, definitely.
So what I have said is, if there is basically there is a product mix in which you are using the 18% input against 12% output and 5% output product, then in that case both of your turnover would be considered as an inverted duty turnover. You can go for a refund considering that turnover as an inverted duty turnover, and that is very much common in case of the medical line also.
अंकित जी, एक अरुण गर्ग जी का क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है चैट बॉक्स में, वो ले लिया है क्या आपने?
नहीं, मैंने कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं लिया। आशा जी बताते रहिए आप एक बार।
रिफंड ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स विद पेमेंट ऑफ IGST नॉट प्रोसेस फ्रॉम आईस्टेट फॉर फाइनेंशियल ईयर 21-22, पीरियड ऑफ 2 years expired, नाउ व्हाट टू डू?
अरुण सर, आपके ऊपर सबसे पहली बात तो आपका पीरियड सर डे 1 से ही एप्लीकेबल हो गया। अगर आपने सही रिटर्न फाइल कर रखी थी तो इट इज डीम्ड कि दैट योर एप्लीकेशन इज फाइल्ड एट द टाइम व्हेन एक्सपोर्ट जनरल मैन्युफैक्चर हैज बीन जनरेटेड। तो आपका कोई टाइम लिमिट एक्सपायर नहीं हुई है, सबसे पहली चीज।
अब शिवम जी का क्वेश्चन है
अरुण सर आप अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं प्लीज। आपकी कोई टाइम लिमिट एक्सपायर नहीं हुई है, पहली चीज। Now you can go with the custom that what is the problem, why your refund has not been come. There is a second provision. The government has introduced one rule in which it say कि when the custom has hold your refund, the RFD would automatically would be moved to the jurisdictional officer. So you can file the refund application considering that also, in case custom is not giving you. But your time limit is not over, sir. You have filed your refund within the time. If you have filed your 3B, you have filed your 1, I am considering that has been filed, and your shipping bill has been generated and your export general management file has been generated, then it is a deemed that your refund application has been filed at the time of export general manifest. So it is not late, it is within the time.
जतिन जी का हैंड रेज है, तो एक बार इनका ले
जतिन जी
लेते
प्लीज
हैं,
अनम्यूट
देन
करके
2
आप
3
कोई भी
क्वेश्चंस
डिस्कस
चैट
करें।
बॉक्स में।
वेरी गुड इवनिंग। मेरा
या
एक
गुड
क्वेश्चन
इवनिंग
था, मेरे क्लाइंट एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं
जी।
और दो क्वेश्चन है। इनफैक्ट पहले मैं एक्सपोर्टर वाला का लूंगा। एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं और उनका उनका जो है इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी में जितना रिफंड बनता है वो आ जाता है, उसके अलावा भी उनका इनपुट खड़ा हुआ है। तो वो उसका वो मेरे से कई बार वो पूछ चुके हैं, तो मेरे पास कोई जवाब प्रॉपरली देने के लिए होता नहीं है। तो उसका हम कैसे कर सकते हैं क्या?
नहीं जतिन जी, वो खाली डोमेस्टिक करते हैं ना, इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी जब भी क्लेम करते हो आप।
डोमेस्टिक करते हैं ओनली।
तो देखिए सर, इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी में जो फॉर्मूला दिया है ना जतिन जी, वो फॉर्मूला ऐसा दिया हुआ है सर कि वो उस प्रोपोजिशन से सारा आईटीसी तो नहीं आ सकता सर। नहीं,
तो क्या कॉस्ट बना के?
बिकॉज प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना, जो वो सर्विसेज का आईटीसी दे रहे हैं ना सर, दिक्कत कहाँ आ रही होगी आपके इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी में, आईटीसी सर्विसेज का बहुत अकोमुलेट हो रहा होगा आपके क्लाइंट के केस में।
यस।
और वो प्रॉब्लम क्या है, जो सर्विसेज का आईटीसी उन्होंने फॉर्मूले में अलाउ भी करा है, आफ्टर लॉन्ग डिस्कशन हैज बीन गॉन, तो वो सिर्फ उतना अलाउ करा है प्रोपोर्शनेट टू योर इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी टर्नओवर।
सारी टर्नओवर सर उनकी इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी में है।
अच्छा, सारी टर्नओवर आपकी इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी में है, बट सर वो जो आपका टैक्स पेबल लेस हो जाता है ना उसके अंदर, तो उस टैक्स पेबल का जो फॉर्मूला जनरेट कर रखा है ना, टैक्स पेबल और इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी वाला आईटीसी का, उसका प्रोपोर्शनल आपको आईटीसी दे रहे हैं वो।
अच्छा।
तो फॉर्मूले में एक वही पोर्शन यानी 10% या 5% ही आपको वो इनपुट मिल पाता है।
ये तो
और दैट इज प्रॉब्लम विद एवरीवन सर। जतिन जी, इसका कोई सॉल्यूशन इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे नहीं है, बेसिकली इसका कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं है। और वो क्योंकि उनका सर्विसेज का इनपुट काफी ज्यादा आ रहा है, तो जब तक टर्नओवर उनकी नहीं बढ़ेगी, जब तक उनका मार्कअप नहीं बढ़ेगा, तब तक ये आईटीसी ऐसे ही अकोमुलेट रहेगा सर। बट आप ये समझे सर, अभी जो मैंने सिक्किम हाई कोर्ट की जजमेंट डिस्कस करी है, उसने तो सर बहुत सारी चीजें खोल दी है आज।
मतलब
आप लोग पढ़िएगा, उसने इतनी सारी चीजें खोल दी है
इस
रिफंड के लिए।
प्लेटफॉर्म पे ओवर द फोन अदर प्लेटफॉर्म पे कुछ
नहीं सर, बेसिकली इसमें ना कुछ मिक्स बनाने पड़ते हैं। जैसे टर्नओवर सपोज आपकी 30 तारीख को होनी है, तो आपने रोक के अगले महीने में ले गए और टर्नओवर का मिक्स बढ़ा दिया, तो वो फॉर्मूले से प्लेइंग करनी पड़ेगी थोड़ी सी विद इन द फ्रेमवर्क, विद इन द टैक्स लॉ अलाउंस। जो मतलब हम कोई टैक्स की चोरी नहीं कर रहे, कोई इवेजन नहीं कर रहे, सिर्फ हम क्या कर रहे हैं, टर्नओवर को रोक दे रहे हैं। हम कहते हैं क्लाइंट से कि भाई 2 दिन रुक जा, 2 दिन बाद माल दे देंगे। तो आपको इनपुट की प्रोपोर्शन पे वर्किंग करनी पड़ेगी सर।
ओके।
उस फॉर्मूले के अकॉर्डिंग जो लॉ कहता है उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपको करना पड़ेगा। आपको गुड्स की सप्लाई या तो बढ़ानी पड़ेगी, किसी को कहोगे कि पहले माल ले लो थोड़ा सा, मतलब उस तरीके से आपको चीजें करनी पड़ेगी, नॉट अदर देन दैट थिंग। तो गलत चीज की डिस्कशन हम लोग नहीं कर रहे, जो चीज लॉ अलाउ करती है उसकी बात।
प्लानिंग के उसके एंगल से ही मैं पूछ रहा था आपसे।
यस यस।
एंड एक मेरा क्लाइंट है उसका ई कॉमर्स का है और उसका ई कॉमर्स वाले में आईटीसी खड़ा 50 लाख का आईटीसी खड़ा हुआ है। उसके केस में कुछ कुछ बन सकता है कुछ?
सर आईटीसी खड़ा क्यों है, उसका रीजन
वो जो
लॉस में माल बिक रहा होगा सर। लॉस में होगी कंपनी।
नहीं नहीं सर, ई कॉमर्स वाला सबके साथ है। जितने भी ई कॉमर्स के क्लाइंट्स हैं, उनके बाद जो अमेजोन फ्लिपकार्ट है, वो उनके जो अपने चार्जेस वगैरह वो लेते हैं, वो अलग से उनका 18% का आईटीसी वो उनका इकट्ठा होता जाता है।
प्रोडक्ट का रेट क्या है सर?
प्रोडक्ट का रेट का किसी मोस्ट तो प्रोडक्ट का रेट 5% है।
तो सर इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी में तो जा सकते हो ना?
नोवेटी ड्यूटी में
बट
कैसे?
आप मैन्युफैक्चरर और ट्रेडर हो।
ट्रेडर है
हाँ तो
और आउटपुट
ट्रेडर
लाइबिलिटी।
को सर देखो इसमें ना, इसमें कोर्ट में जाना पड़ेगा। ट्रेडर को बेसिकली डिस्कशन यही चल रहा है कि इनपुट सर्विसेज का रिफंड मिले। जो इनपुट सर्विसेज का पोर्शन 18% का आ रहा है और आपका मार्कअप उतना होगा नहीं,
हाँ
तो आईटीसी एक्यूमुलेट होता जा रहा है।
हाँ, ये चीज है।
हालांकि जब आपकी टर्नओवर और मार्कअप बढ़ेगा तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली खत्म हो जाएगा।
हम्म। और
बट
उनको
इसका इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी में मुझे लगता है कुछ ना कुछ केस लॉ डिसाइड होंगे जहाँ पे इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी के अंदर रिफंड अलाउ होगा।
मतलब
पर वो
सर
भी सर
ऐसा
प्रोपोर्शन आ ही नहीं पाएगा, इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी है नहीं, तो वहीं खत्म हो जाती है कहानी। लेट्स सी, कोई कोर्ट में डिसाइड होगा, कोई केस लॉ, वी विल डिस्कस इट।
इशू क्या आता है सर? मार्कअप बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ा नहीं सकते क्योंकि ऑनलाइन मार्केट है, कॉम्पिटिटिव मार्केट है।
सर जो मार्कअप है वो बढ़ाने से थोड़ी ना होगा, जो होगा वही होगा ना सर। ठीक है सर, कोई और क्वेरी है वी विल डिस्कस सेपरेटली। एंड नाउ
चैट
मूविंग
चैट
फॉरवर्ड,
बॉक्स
किसी और
में
की
I
कोई
had
क्वेरी?
one query. अंकित जी एक क्वेरी था मेरा.
जी प्लीज।
यस कौशिक।
Oh yeah. So hi, I'm based out of Bangalore. So here we have a lot of IT companies. इधर होता क्या है सर कि basically IT companies generally exports ही है. तो they get the FIRA basically. See, as per the circular of GST, either you need to have the FIRC or the BRC to claim the
नहीं, आई
refund.
एग्री, एफआईआरसी ओके ओके,
तो
लुक फॉरवर्ड सर।
FIRC बेसिकली अब नहीं आ रहा है, बैंक्स ने बंद कर दिया, आरबीआई ने बंद कर दिया. ओनली फॉर कैपिटल अकाउंट यू कैन गेट FIRC. You get FIRA which banks are giving. But when we go to the GST department, one or two departments basically in Bangalore are denying the refund. They're telling that as per circular, it's clearly mentioned either FIRC or BRC. FIRC आया नहीं है क्योंकि बैंक दिया नहीं, bank has given FIRA. Now second option is BRC. BRC bank can only give only if you have
वो तो
basically
गुड्स
registered.
रियलाइजेशन,
Sorry,
बीआरसी तो देता नहीं ना बैंक सर्विसेज
बीआरसी
के
नहीं
केस
देता
में।
है, फिर आपको सॉफ्ट टैक्स लगाओ, सॉफ्ट टैक्स फाइलिंग कराओ, फिर वो बैंक को दो, फिर बीआरसी आता है. इन सब केस में क्या करना है? कैन वी देन शुड वी गो फॉर अपील?
या यू कैन गो फॉर अपील सर, एंड आई हैव टू चेक आल्सो, बिकॉज ये केस मैंने पहली बार आपसे सुना है सर। बिकॉज अभी तक तो मुझे भी एफआईआरसी आई है, मैंने अभी 3 दिन पहले ही रिफंड फाइल करा है रिसेंट में। बट आई विल
सर
चेक व्हाट इज गोइंग
बैंगलोर में
ऑन।
एक बेसिकली बाकी अदर ऑफिसर्स तो कर रहे हैं, बट व्हाट वी अंडरस्टैंड एक दो ऑफिसर्स एक दो
देखो
डिपार्टमेंट्स नहीं
सर,
कर रहे हैं.
देखो सर, ये इंटेंशन ऑफ लॉ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है सर। आप 100% रिफंड मिलेगा आपको, पहली चीज तो मैं एश्योर कर रहा हूँ, स्ट्रेट फॉर्म से एश्योर कर रहा हूँ। क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट ने जो एफआईआरसी लेके आई, वो क्यों लेके आई? गवर्नमेंट वांट टू इंश्योर कि दैट फॉरेन करेंसी में पैसा आया, उसका डॉक्यूमेंट है एफआईआरसी। नाउ बैंकिंग नॉर्म्स हैज बीन चेंज, नाउ दे आर इशूइंग सम अदर डॉक्यूमेंट इंस्टेड ऑफ एफआईआरसी, दैट नीड टू बी अमेंड इन द जीएसटी आल्सो।
गॉट इट.
But intention of law is very clear that they want the document to take the proof that your money has been received in a foreign currency.
गॉट इट.
I will check. I have noted down your problem. We will do the tweet also. We will write to the government also that this has been the problem faced by the IT companies. From the industry prospect also, from the PhD chamber, you can write to the government that we are facing this problem. The circular would be issued to resolve this problem also.
Where can I write this also? Can I write it to
सर
someone?
आप पीएचडी चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स के थ्रू, या फिर आप अपनी जो आपकी आईटी कंपनीज की एसोसिएशन है उसके थ्रू यू राइट, एंड इवन एन इंडिविजुअल आल्सो यू कैन राइट टू द गवर्नमेंट कि दैट वी आर फेसिंग दिस प्रॉब्लम, वी आर द जेन्युइन टैक्स पेयर, वी आर फेसिंग दिस प्रॉब्लम, प्लीज प्रोवाइड अस द सॉल्यूशन. वी कैन फ्रॉम दिस प्लेटफॉर्म, आई एम सेइंग फ्रॉम टीम कासा आल्सो वी विल राइट टू देम, एज एन अंकित गर्ग आल्सो वी विल राइट टू देम. You just send me on my mobile number what the problem exactly going on, so that this problem would be resolved in a totality in all over India.
नहीं ठीक है. Thanks sir. Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks.
Sir, एक और small doubt था basically. If it's a
जी
capital goods import, basically capital goods पे ऊपर ITC है, and now you told that we can do it with payment of taxes. This capital goods have got imported last 2 years back, 1.5 year back. Now
सर
can I
कोई
do it
दिक्कत
with
नहीं है,
payment of
ऐसे
taxes?
ले सकते हो सर।
और फिर रिफंड मिल जाएगा मेरे को? आई कैन गेट दैट?
देखो कायदे में तो रिफंड सबका मिलना है। आप आईटी कंपनी हो, एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हो, तो रिफंड सबका मिलना है। बट रिस्ट्रिक्शन है लॉ के अंदर अलाउ भी है ये अभी, हालांकि द गवर्नमेंट इज प्लानिंग टू चेंज दिस फॉर्मूला, बट टिल दैट यू कैन क्लेम इट.
तो I'll do it with payment of tax, one invoice. Currently जो invoice है
सर कुछ नहीं करना, विद पेमेंट जाओगे आप, विद पेमेंट का फॉर्मूला आपको पता ही है, उसमें आपने चार्ज तो करना नहीं है आगे से, सिर्फ एक मैकेनिज्म है और अकॉर्डिंगली आपको उसका भी एक्युमुलेटेड आईटीसी मिल जाएगा.
ठीक, got it. Thank you.
एनी अदर क्वेरी? आशा जी कोई और क्वेरी पेंडिंग है?
चैट बॉक्स में है शिवम जी की एक, इन केस ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विस विदाउट पेमेंट ऑफ जीएसटी अंडर एलयूटी एंड हैव नॉर्मल आईटीसी बैलेंस, कैन वी गेट द जीएसटी रिफंड?
बिल्कुल डेफिनेटली शिवम जी, आप 100% ले सकते हैं. अगर आप एलयूटी में एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, फॉर्मूला लगाएं और आप रिफंड जो बनता है आप ले, कहीं कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आरएफडी 0 बन जाएगा आपका. और देयर इज अ फॉर्मूला गिवन फॉर द प्रोपोर्शनेट टर्नओवर, यू विल गेट द आईटीसी रिफंड. कोई प्रॉब्लम है, यू विल डिस्कस डायरेक्टली विद मी, नो नीड टू वरी अबाउट.
एक क्वेश्चन है, इफ अ ट्रेडर सेल्स गुड्स थ्रू ई कॉमर्स टैक्सेबल एट 5% एंड सर्विसेज ऑफ
I think
courier
we
and
have discussed it.
डिस्कस
We
हो
have
गया
discussed it. We
ट्रेडर
have
वाला.
discussed it. Yeah, we have discussed it.
बस. विजय कुमार जी कह रहे हैं माय क्वेश्चन इज नॉट आंसर्ड. सर एक बार दोबारा से डाल दीजिए आपका
सर
क्वेश्चन.
आपका क्वेश्चन तो हमें आंसर वैसे ही करना पड़ेगा सर. एक मिनट सर, देख लेते हैं हम कौन सा आपका क्वेश्चन आंसर रह गया सर. सर प्लीज दोबारा से डाल दीजिए विजय सर. आई थिंक बहुत दिख नहीं पा रहे हैं विजय सर, प्लीज. और आप अनम्यूट
The
करके भी
question
डिस्कस
is
कर
not
सकते हैं.
visible, sir. I have questioned, but it is not reflected in the chat box, sir.
Not an issue, sir. You can ask me verbally, sir. Not an issue, please.
Okay, sir. I will send it in WhatsApp, sir. You please just clear off my doubts, sir. Thank you, sir.
Not an issue.
Presentation was excellent, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very
Thank
much. Thank you. Thank you. I hope सबको समझ में आया. And
एक
6:55 हो
क्वेश्चन
गए हैं.
आ
5
रहा
minutes है
है,
मेरे पास.
एक क्वेश्चन आ रहा है अभी अनमोल जी का. वन ऑफ आवर क्लाइंट इज अ यूट्यूबर. In this case, GST department is not giving GST refund.
अनमोल जी, यूट्यूबर के केस में बेसिकली आपको यूट्यूब से सर्विसेज मिल रही हैं. आपके पास FIRC है, फॉरेन करेंसी में पैसा आ रहा है, यूट्यूब लोकेटेड. आप किसको बिल कर रहे हो, वो सब चीजें देखनी पड़ेंगी. अगर आप सारी कंडीशंस फुलफिल कर रहे हैं तो आपको रिफंड मिलेगा सर, डेफिनेटली मिलेगा. कोई डिनाई नहीं होगा. बेसिकली OIDR के अंदर देखना पड़ेगा आपकी कौन सी सर्विसेज है, आप क्या सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं, OIDR के अंदर कवर है नहीं है. अकॉर्डिंगली आपको वो जो मैंने प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई रूल्स डिस्कस करे, अगर उसमें कवर है, क्योंकि यूट्यूबर में सर बहुत तरीके की सर्विसेज है. अभी मैं बैठ के हमारी यूट्यूब में हम क्लासेस दें और सारे अब्रॉड में सब्सक्राइबर हैं, तो अकॉर्डिंगली दैट सर्विसेज वी आर डूइंग द डिफरेंटली. मैं बैठ के यहाँ रील बना रहा हूँ और जो अपलोड कर रहा हूँ, जिसकी फिजिकल प्रेजेंस इंडिया के अंदर होनी चाहिए, तो वो सारे फ्रेमवर्क वी हैव टू चेक इट आउट कि OIDR में वो कवर्ड होगी नहीं होगी. और अकॉर्डिंगली वी विल डिसाइड दैट इट इज एलिजिबल फॉर द रिफंड और नॉट. खाली यूट्यूब से मतलब यूट्यूब को हम कोई सर्विसेज दे रहे हैं, वो किससे रिलेट करती है, वो सर्विसेज का नेचर क्या है, वो OIDR में आएगी नहीं आएगी, देन ओनली द रिफंड इज एलिजिबल. वी हैव टू सी दैट.
अनमोल जी, अगर if you want to ask further, you can unmute. We have 2-3 minutes. Yes. Or anyone else want to ask any question? Already इतना detailed discussion हो चुका है.
Basically, the slide, if you see, there is a 50 slides. If I go with each and every slide, then 4 hours is also less to me to explain.
In fact,
अंकित
So I
जी
have just
स्लाइड
discussed the
शेयर कर
relevant
देना,
things.
क्योंकि जस्ट आफ्टर द सेशन स्लाइड शेयर कर देना मुझे, क्योंकि दैट
Yes,
इज
yes.
मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट जो पार्टिसिपेंट मुझसे बाद में मांगते हैं.
No,
कल
और
no, I
वाली भी
will definitely
स्लाइड्स
share
उसको
some of it.
चैनल
कल
पे डाल
वाली
दीजिएगा सुमित जी आपके.
डाल हाँ डाल दी,
Link
ऑलरेडी
उसका
डाल दी मैंने,
डाल दी बस.
सुबह ही डाल दी थी उसका लिंक
Second scan
चैनल पर, तो कोई भी डाउनलोड कर सकता है. और अंकित जी की अभी रात तक वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग एंड प्रेजेंटेशन डाल दूंगा. एंड वंडरफुल कवरेज भाई अंकित जी.
So I think go ahead.
I think time
One
to
more query,
close.
annuity
अरुण
refund
जी की
without
लास्ट
payment
क्वेरी,
of export.
लास्ट क्वेरी ले लेते हैं अरुण गर्ग जी
Monthly
की,
refund or else.
उसके बाद
अरुण सर एक चीज और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट अरुण सर की क्वेरी से मुझे याद आया, सबको ऑडियंस को बता देता हूँ जितने भी लोग रहे हैं। बेसिकली सर देर इज नो टाइम लिमिट। आपको मंथली फायदा आ रहा है, रिफंड मंथली ज्यादा बन रहा है, मंथली ले लो। आपका 2 साल का मिला के ज्यादा बन रहा है, 2 साल का मिला के ले लो। 4 महीने का ज्यादा बन रहा है, 4 महीने का ले लो। जैसे प्रपोजिशन आपकी बैठ रही है वैसे ले सकते हो। देर इज नो टाइम लिमिट, no restriction given by the government, and government is allowed cumulated also, monthly also, quarterly also, yearly also, 2 yearly also. You can claim the refund as your mathematics and as per your calculation, which is better for you. Thank you all audience, and this is my end of my
Formally,
deliberation. Yeah, please आशा जी आप बताएं।
यस आशा जी, नाउ कंक्लूड करते हैं आज का सेशन, और बाकी कल के लिए
आप
आप
कुछ
बता
कह रहे
दीजिए
थे आशा
और
जी,
फिर
आप
we
उसे
get back
पूरा
to you.
करें, पहले कुछ कह रहे थे आप बीच में।
नहीं,
Yes,
मैं बस
अच्छा
यही
जी.
कहती कि now I think we can conclude it formally.
Yes, yes, Asha ji, over to you for formal vote conclusion.
Thank you, Sumit ji, for this vote of thanks opportunity. And first of all, thanks to Ankit ji for a great, wonderful deliberation. बहुत ही डिटेल में आपने बताया. Thank you so
नमस्कार,
much. And
अच्छा ये रोक रहा हूँ, अनिल अनिल
हाँ,
अनिल सर नमस्कार। अभी अभी इस लास्ट में वीडियो ऑन करा अनिल जी ने, हमारी सीनियर
okay.
मेंबर, और सभी का एंथनी सर भी जुड़े हैं। एंथनी सर आपसे भी रिक्वेस्ट है कि सारे बाकी दिन भी ज्वाइन कीजिएगा और मेक इट
जरूर जरूर
कहीं ना कहीं
जरूर जरूर
कल आपको ही एंथनी सर, कल आपको मॉडरेट करना है, कल आपको अवेलेबल रहना है, कल आपकी ड्यूटी
जो
लगाते
आदेश, जो आप सबों का आदेश है।
रिक्वेस्ट सर ना हुआ सही।
Thanks to each of the participants कि आप लोग ने अटेंड किया एंड इंटरेक्टिव भी रखा इसको। तो थैंक यू सो मच। कल फिर हम लोग मिलेंगे ऑनलाइन 5 बजे। कल का भी बहुत अच्छा टॉपिक रखा है डिस्कशन का, जीएसटी इन लॉजिस्टिक्स सेक्टर इंक्लूडिंग जीटीए एंड ट्रैवल एंड टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री पे भी जीएसटी का डिस्कस करेंगे। तो डू जॉइन अस टुमारो। थैंक्स टू ईच वन ऑफ यू। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you, thank you.
थैंक यू अंकित जी, थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you.
ठीक है।